Hello and welcome back to the Book Marketing Tips and Author Success Podcast. This is Penny Sansevieri with my ever awesome co-host, Amy Cornell. This is another topic that came out of conversations that we have with authors who are using the term soft launch incorrectly. And soft launch used to be a really big thing in publishing. And we're going to break down what it is, what it isn't. But Amy, do you want to open this conversation up by saying what a soft launch actually should be? And then we'll talk a little bit about how the term is misused and how it can hurt your book.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think soft launch in old school traditional publishing was a thing. And soft launch definitely happens with a lot of other products and a lot of other industries. And it works fine. But books are a different animal, especially nowadays, especially with indie publishing, especially with Amazon. So now when people say soft launch, honestly, I hear like we're getting anxious, but we're not fully ready to commit to everything yet. And to me, like my brain just starts buzzing, right. What does that mean exactly? So when an author says soft launch, what I want to see them doing, if they say they really want to do a soft launch, I would love to see them networking with people they know within their industry, getting early copies of the book out on their own, starting to generate some blurbs perhaps, or some early reviews for their website, things like that before the book is commercially available. Do what you can to kind of grease the wheels, get things in motion leading up to, because we encourage our clients, definitely use your networks, use your professional networks, use your personal networks, depending on, your genre or topic, but you should absolutely be doing that kind of work because we can't do that for you, so you don't want to leave those opportunities on the table, but those personal connections that you have or business connections are excellent for a soft launch, but it, like you said, Penny, it often gets misused and misunderstood.
Yeah. Yeah. And, there's a lot of misinformation out there online. I mean, shocking. Not everything on the internet is true, people. But if you look up the term soft launch for a book, it says very clearly when your book goes live, but it's technically available to sell, but you don't tell anybody about it yet. And guess what? That does not matter.
Well, I don't know how you do that.
Right? If you put your book on Amazon, so a lot of times I get authors who say, we soft launched the book last year and now we're ready to promote it. Guess what? That book is now old because you put the book up on Amazon. You said it was a soft launch. Amazon doesn't care about your soft launch, right? Amazon's like, book reviewers don't care about your soft launch. The minute that your book goes up on Amazon, it starts aging. The clock starts ticking. And this is where I know I'm getting like a little angry. Apparently I need therapy around the term soft launch. But honestly, I mean, the soft launch is, as Amy said, it's a great opportunity for you to reach out to your tribe. It's a great opportunity. You have an email list, whatever you have. Maybe you do a soft launch, because I had actually a friend of mine lived in San Diego at the time, and she did a soft launch just in San Diego. So the book was not on Amazon. She did an event, right? She invited a lot of her friends and some influencers locally and people she knew in the media. And she soft launched it at the event. And then the book went live on Amazon, I want to say 2 or 3 weeks later. That was a great way to do it, right?
Beautiful. Yep.
Right. So the book was nowhere to be found. The soft launch and the soft launch also feels more exclusive when you do it that way, right? But a lot of times people use the soft launch as a placeholder for, I didn't feel like marketing it.
100%.
Like, I'm sorry, but let's just say what it is. And the issue with that is like I said, the book, the book ages. And as it ages, it becomes harder and harder to get it out there, to get influencers and reviewers and, whatnot to pick it up. So be careful how you use the term soft launch. I mean, there isn't a lot more that we can actually say about it. This is really kind of a don't let this be you podcast. But I do think there's just a lot of misunderstanding. And certainly there's a lot of misinformation out there about what a soft launch is.
Absolutely. And I think, again, there's a lot of opportunities for most people, even if you don't feel like, I don't really know that many people. I think you'd be surprised, if you sent out an email, if you planned a small event locally that you hosted, like Penny said, I think you'd be really surprised at the response you'd get. And your example was amazing, Penny. I would love to see more authors doing a soft launch like that versus, like you said, kind of they use it to buy time a little bit, like I don't really feel, and this kind of fits in. We did an episode recently about timing and what needs to happen when and things like that. And I think soft launch gets used as well when authors are trying to get all the things done at the same time. They've got goals that are realistic for the first month of their book, but then goals that really aren't realistic for 6 months out, but they want to get them all done at once. So they say, let's do a soft launch because they're trying to hit all these goals and all these, numbers in advance of really stating to the world that their book is out there. And, you used a great term. You said it's moving the goalpost,
Right. Exactly. And, the other thing that you could do if you have, so in situations where you have a street team and you have a group of people, it doesn't even have to be locally, you have a group of people that are avid fans and avid readers, you could do a soft launch to your fan base, to your immediate fan base before putting it up on Amazon and get some feedback. However, if you do it that way, be prepared that the feedback may you may look at that feedback and, oh my gosh, that's a great idea. I have to incorporate that in my book. I've had people that have done that as well, have said, I'm going to soft launch it to my group and get some feedback from them. I would do that with my book as a nonfiction author and just say, listen, I want to know what you think, if this book could be better, but I would probably not share it with them in the final format. So technically that's really more of a beta readers group, things like that. But soft launching a book is very misused. It's very misunderstood. It sounds like a very catchy kind of a thing to do. But again, the minute that book sits on Amazon, it starts aging. So, if you don't have a mailing list, if you don't have, if you don't know anybody locally, if you don't feel like you want to do anything early, just launch your book on Amazon and be ready to promote it when it does go live.
Yep, exactly.
So, well, we hope that this podcast has been helpful, and we welcome show ideas. We also welcome feedback. We talked about this in the show we did on pitching yourself to podcasts and creating your own podcast. We build our shows based on your feedback. So what do you want to hear more of? What do you want to hear less of? Yes. Please don't say you want to hear less of Penny, because I will just be devastated.
But we do want invites to your super cool soft launch that you're now planning after listening to this show.
Yeah. I would love to see some examples. Thank you for interjecting that, Amy. If you have done a soft launch, I would really love to know how you've done it. Like, what have you done? Did you do maybe a Facebook launch event with your fans or something like that before this book went up on Amazon? I mean, there's a lot, you could get really creative with the soft launch idea. Just remember, sorry, you were going to say something. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying I'm jazzed. I would love to. Yes. Let's tell us if you've had a successful soft launch, but also if you're planning one, let us be involved. Let us know what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you again so much for tuning into the show. We love reviews wherever you listen to podcasts. And as ever, we always welcome your feedback. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye-bye.